Now, when you're looking at part B and C together now, what do you notice? So one thing that you may notice is the order of G1 is 5. And the order of G2 is 6. We had 5 rotations for our pentagon. We have 6 rotations for our hexagon. And so what you may observe that there's one big difference between 5 and 6. 5 is prime, 6 is definitely not prime. So what happened when we went around the pentagon is when we took powers of our rotations, eventually we picked up every single power. We never hit on the identity before we picked off all the other powers. But when we went around the pentagon, when we went around the hexagon, when we started with beta squared, we went from the identity to beta squared to beta to the 4th and then back to the identity. We never picked up any of the odd powers of beta. And when we started with beta cubed, we only picked up the identity and beta cubed because we went beta, beta cubed, then beta to the 6th, which is the identity again. So the multiples of 3 only got us powers of beta that were either the identity or beta cubed. And when we started with beta to the 4th, we also, all our powers were just even powers, and we only ended up with the identity, beta squared, and beta to the 4th. And the only time when we started with a power of beta that was relatively prime to the order of our group, that's when we picked up every single element in our cyclic group. So that is the big difference that we could maybe note down in part D right here. So in G1, we had that the order of the group is equal to 5, which is prime. And every element generates the entire group G1. But on the other hand, in G2, we had that the order of G2 is equal to 6, which is composite. So that has divisors 2 and 3, well, also 1 and 6, but they are not important right now. So 2 and 3, and only beta and beta to the 5th generate G2 because 1 and 5 are relatively prime to 6. So they don't get us back to the identity prematurely before we pick out everything else. That's the difference here. And in Theorem 4.2, we're going to summarize some of these things that we have found by looking at examples